Hello and welcome to the Florida Men Gaming. I am Furion and today we will be playing Magic the Gathering Arena. This season we are looking to work our way from Bronze to Mythic and have some fun along the way. But before we get started, I would like to ask you to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers and would love to have you along for the journey. For this video we will be playing an Orzhov Clerics deck that I've called If You Can't Beat 'em. For many of you who have played on the ladder recently, you've seemed to run into these a lot, but black-white clerics or even Esper, black, white, and blue clerics seem to be dominating the meta share. So this deck takes from another YouTuber and Twitch player, Jay Villain's concept. We're going to be running a counter meta deck that hopefully will slow down some of the opponents that we're running into. So in this deck, we are running 4 copies of the Lunarch Veteran to give us the life gain we're going to need to power up cards like Clerics of the Lifespond and Voice of the Blessed. From the Alchemy set, we're going to be running 4 copies of Angel of Unity, which whenever Angel of Unity enters the battlefield or you cast a party spell, which is Cleric, Rogue, Warrior, or Wizard, the Angel of Unity will put a +1/+1 counter on another party creature in your hand perpetually. That works out very well as our entire hand consists of nothing but clerics. As part of our counter meta strategy, we're going to be running 2 copies of Duress to take an early look at their hand, 2 copies of the Curse of Silence to make key components of the opponent's play strategy a little more unreachable, 4 copies of the Silverquill Silencer to additionally tax with their life total anything they might be trying to accomplish, and 4 copies of the Elite Spellbinder for the same purpose. Alternate cards that we'll be playing, little changes that I've made that I think will be fun, and just a little change in the addition here. 1 copy of Taborax, Hope's Demise. Taborax is a demon cleric that when he has 5 or more counters, he gets lifelink. And whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you put a +1/+1 counter on Taborax. If that creature was a cleric, you may draw a card and lose a life to do so. Since everything is clerics, this could get powered up pretty quick. The other interesting card we're going to give a try in this deck is the Angel of Eternal Dawn. This creature is a 2/4 flying. When Angel of Eternal Dawn enters the battlefield, it becomes day and it cannot become night. It also limits the opponent in their ability to cast spells because they cannot cast spells with mana value greater than the number of turns they have begun. So this can slow down some of the ramp decks we might run into, and we'll go from there with that. 4 copies of the Valorous Stance to take care of any potential big threats that the opponent might have that can outscale our angels. And that is about where we stand. Lands, we're running 22. 4 copies of the Brightclimb Pathway, 4 copies of the Shattered Sanctum, 1 Cave of the Frost Dragon, 1 Hive of the Eye Tyrant, 6 basics. Overall, this deck is a 22 land based deck, 2.1 average mana cost, and we will see how it performs. Look forward to seeing you in the gameplay. Alright, we have an opponent. Could be mono red just judging from the avatar. This is an easy keep hand. Double Cleric of the Lifespawn into Voice of the Blessed. That is going to be a recipe for disaster for our opponent. And we have drawn into all of our black mana, it seems. Green and red, we're looking at Gruul. This looks to be maybe an equipment build. Let's go ahead and get down the first Cleric of Lifespawn and see what happens. Let's see what's in their spellbook. Got Boots of Speed, Kite Sail, Colossus Hammer, Rapier, Spare Dagger, Tormentor's Helm. That is potentially a very scary setup here depending on what comes down next. Curse of Hospitality, they are looking to play one of my favorite cards from this set. We are going to go ahead and chump it. We are going to play Elite Spellbinder, take a look at what they've got going on in their hand, and potentially disrupt their strategy. Burn down the house, you can wait for a long time to play that one. Taking an already expensive card, 5 mana, and putting it up to 7. Down comes the Prosperous Innkeeper. Alright. Not quite able to double spell for the Voice of the Blessed just yet, but we're going to go ahead and play the Silverquill Silencer. And we will call Burn Down the House. Now that will cost them some life if they choose to play it. And our creatures are on the grow. Arlen, that is a fun card. Fortunately, this next turn is going to allow us to double spell, keep it on daytime, and with that Valorous Stance, we are in a really good position. Voice of the Blessed going to come down, trigger the Cleric of the Life Spawn, followed by the Taborax, giving it 2 counters, bringing it up to a 4/4. Going to go ahead and take Arlen off the board.
Back to the woods.
The opponent is up to 6 available mana to spend. We're going to go ahead and block across the board here. We will see what happens. Opponent runs into a wall of can't get through. That's another mana. Do they have the Burn Down the House? They have the Burn Down the House. The board is clean. They're going to take the 3 damage. And we are back to square one. We're going to go ahead and sacrifice some life here, refill our hand. That is actually a favor because we are now drawing out every land that has ever been a land. Wow! What a series of catastrophic draws for us. That would have been terrible had we tried to play that out the normal way. And with the Voice of the Blessed getting pumped, we are in a really good position here. Hopefully they're not sitting on another Burn Down the House, as the Valorous Stance will be online for us next turn. Ranger class. And in Search of Greatness. Alright, green-red enchantments and equipment based on some of these early plays. Let's see what happens. We're going to go ahead and start building up the Voice of the Blessed, hold up the Valorous Stances, and now we can protect anything that's just going to come down here. Switches to nighttime. Let's see what they've got for us. Augur of Autumn. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may play lands from the top of your library, and as long as you control 3 or more creatures with different powers, you may cast creature spells from the top. Been a while since I've seen that card. Not something that I saw all that often through the Midnight Hunt set. Alright, Angel of Unity. Second one coming down. That is a big deal. This lifelink will continue to allow us to pump up our Voice of the Blessed and keep the opponent from attacking in with anything meaningful. Now up to a 5/5 on the Voice of the Blessed. Again, 2 Valorous Stance available to protect our investment here. Let's see what comes down. If they've got a board wipe, they're going to need to use it now. Opponent is taking their time, assessing whether or not they have what it takes to get through this match. There's the Burn Down the House. That is exactly what we were hoping for. We're going to go ahead and give the Indestructible to the Voice of the Blessed and one of our Angels of Unity. And that will give us free reign to attack all the way through next turn, unopposed. And another land. This game absolutely loves giving us the lands right now. With that, the Voice of the Blessed is now out of range of Burn Down the House, so it will be able to go in unopposed. Let's see what they got. Opponent electing to level up the Ranger class and play creature cards off the top of their library. Alright, another Valorous Stance on the board. We're going to go ahead and see if they're willing to trade their Antique Collector. Does not look to be the case. They are down to 1. Voice of the Blessed now has its Vigilance and is up to 7/7 flying in the air. Valorous Stance still available to protect it. All of our mana open as we have drawn pretty much nothing but. Outside of our opening hand, every card we picked up has been land. But at this stage of the game, it looks to be the way to go. They're going to draw another card with this Toski when they swing in with the Antique Collector. Going to put 3 damage down and we'll see what happens. Oh, they're taking a card off the top of our deck. They've got an Elite Spellbinder. That is a good pickup for them. Let's see if they elect to play it. Doesn't really matter. They can take that Valorous Stance out of the way if they choose. Regardless, they don't have enough blockers to stop us coming downhill. And this is going to be game. Going to go ahead and give them the good game back. And Black-White Clerics is on the board. Nope. Forgot that my instant is holding priority. And let's let it through. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have a win. With that, we will see you in the next one. Alright, and we have an opponent. This hand has both the mana colors we're looking for. We're going to go ahead and keep and hope we draw into the land we're going to need to start dropping cards like the Spellbinder so we can take a look at what they're doing. Opponent seems to be taking a moment to decide what they're going to do with their hand, whether they're going to keep or mulligan. Go ahead and lead with the white mana, see what we draw on turn 2. Opponent playing green, Tenacious Pup. That Angel of Eternal Dawn in the opening hand is going to be a clutch pickup if we can manage to get it down. Just waiting on them to decide their follow-up move here. And a Ranger class, putting more wolves on the board. Opponent swinging in, we're going to go ahead and take the 1 damage. Taborax hopes Demise. We're going to go ahead and play out the Silverquill Silencer and choose Tovolar, the Dire Overlord. Going to pass the turn. Let's see if they draw into red mana or if I have severely misjudged this situation. Bright side, no snow permanent. It looks like I've misjudged. This looks to be a mono green build. That old growth troll is going to be a bit of a problem for us here. We're going to go ahead and play Curse of Silence. We're going to do Ulvenwald Oddity. Top of our mana curve is only 3 mana. Should have probably chosen a hand, since we are limited on the mana we're playing, to have that 3rd mana visible from the start. Emergent Sequence, bringing another mana to the board. Let's see where they distribute those counters. Gonna go ahead and let it through. There's the mana we're looking for. Gonna go ahead and drop the Voice of the Blessed. We will end up sacrificing this Silverquill Silencer on the next turn, as it no longer is blocking anything that the opponent has. Unnatural Growth, ladies and gentlemen, that is gonna be game. And the land finally starts rolling in too little too late. Gonna go ahead and just drop the Taborax and resign. And we have found an opponent. Let's see what the shuffler gives us for an opening hand. 2 colors of mana. We had a rough game earlier in the day with this style of opener. I'm going to go ahead and mulligan, see if we can get a cheap 1-drop or There we go. That's exactly what we want right there. That is the perfect starter hand for a deck built like this. We're going to go ahead and play Lunarch Veteran on our turn 1, Voice of the Blessed turn 2, Spellbinder on 3, and get a peek at what we can disrupt. Couldn't ask for a better start. Let's see what the opponent plays down. We have black, and we're drawing more mana. It's amazing. You drop down to 22 land, and the mana just flows aplenty. Alright, we are looking at Rakdos. Let's see if they kill the Lunarch Veteran. They kill the Lunarch Veteran. They are not wasting any time. Don't want to take any chances at this point. We're going to go ahead and tempt them with the Voice of the Blessed. See if we draw out more of their removal. At this point, I would be surprised if they let this sit on the board. This card, as we know, has the chance to spiral wildly out of control. Florian, the Voldaren Scion. With that, we draw another Voice of the Blessed. We're going to go ahead and lead with the Spellbinder, see what we can disrupt. Restless Bloodseeker, Sap Vitality, Infernal Grasp, and Sanguine Brushstroke. Let's put that just out of reach. And we will pass priority. Fully expecting an Infernal Grasp any moment here. We'll see if they wait to cast it though until they've had a chance to attack in. Looks like they're going to want to take a look at the top 3 cards of their library before they make any decisions on what they play. Alright, opponent taking a look at their options. Let's see if they picked up land off of their exile. No, another Infernal Grasp. It looks like they're looking to use the elimination. There it goes. Alright. Oh, and that is about as pretty a pickup as you can ask for. We're going to go ahead and play Lunarch. Drop the Righteous Valkyrie. Gain the 1 life from that to power up Voice of the Blessed, and swing in. Now, with both of those cards there, they have to make a decision. I expect the Righteous Valkyrie is going to draw the removal, which will allow us to play the Voice of the Blessed next turn with the Lunarch Veteran and give more 1/1 counters to our cards here. Going to go ahead and let them through. Let's see what they get. They've elected to fix their mana. Alright. Do they have a follow-up? So far, they are taking their time. Restless Bloodseeker coming down. And another mana. This game is very excited to reward us with stuff we don't necessarily need. Alright, and here comes the Luminous Phantom. This now effectively puts Voice of the Blessed just out of range of the Florian. Not necessarily though, because with that Sap Vitality at instant speed, they can bring us down to within the first strike range. What we're going to do here, we're going to go ahead and offer up the Lunarch Veteran as a sacrifice to the Florian. Make sure they don't get all the way through. And with that, it will trigger the Luminous Phantom, allowing it to pump the Voice of the Blessed that are on the battlefield, put the 5/5 over their head, and give us a legitimate chance to finish this game. And their Sapping Vitality, that might pump the other one as well. I don't remember if it triggers on its own death, but if that's the case, this is going to be GG. And as they did not get all the way through, this could be it unless they're sitting on another removal. There's the Blood Tithe Harvester. Ooh, that is a big boy. And our 6/6 is going to go in unopposed. Opponent to 0. That is game, ladies and gentlemen. Cleric strikes again. And that takes us out of gold tier 4, brings us into tier 3. We are moving up the ladder. Alright, we have an opponent. So far it has been clerics everywhere. This deck had a pretty hot start, but has really middled out as we've continued on. So far to this point, you haven't seen them all. We are at 2 and 5. Really, really poor outing. We're going to go ahead and lead with the swamp, take a look at what they've got going on right from the get-go. Vanishing Verse, yet again, another Clerics deck. And it looks that they have the better of the plays here in terms of their curves. So we're going to go ahead and go right to the Elite Spellbinder and try and put that Righteous Valkyrie out of range. There's the second mana. Elite Spellbinder on time. Let's see if they elect to stay with us here. Oh, several Righteous Valkyries. That is unfortunate for us. We'll take one of them. That Glasspool Mimic is a problem. This is an Esper Clerics deck. Did not see that blue mana earlier. That should be Righteous Valkyrie coming down now. There it is. Gonna go ahead and drop the Angel of Unity. And follow it up with a Cleric of Lifespond. And we will hold. I can knock that Valkyrie out. I've been misreading this, thinking it was power 4 or greater, but in reality it's toughness. If I was thinking, I would have done that previous turn, taken away a target for that Glasspool Mimic. We'll see if they elect to Mimic now. If they don't, oh, they play it as a land. They are really looking to get to that Inquisitor Captain. That is fine with me. You can go ahead and play that. I will still Valorous Stance that Valkyrie off the board this turn. Now waiting on them to decide. We will take that. That will pump our Cleric a Lifespond. And a Shattered Sanctum. Land coming in untapped. Bye-bye Valkyrie. Hello, big swing. Opponent looking at that Angel of Unity. They're going to trade Spellbinders. And we are now looking at advantage on the board. That Inquisitor Captain could quickly change that, along with the Aura Hierophant of the Skyclave. Let's see if they get the God draw and pull out one of the Mimics. There's a Spellbinder. All they're gonna get is nothing. And perfectly timed on this Valkyrie's arrival. Let's see if they want to make some trades. So far, the opponent just trying to decide how they want to move forward. Electing to trade with the Angel of Unity. Empty hand. If they draw another Spellbinder that's not going to have anything to hit. Let's see if they have any more Inquisitor Captains or Glasspools in their hand. They now have enough to play out the Righteous Valkyrie. Lunarch Veteran coming down. Looks like they're going to try and start recouping some of that lost life. Alright. There's the Aura. Nothing they have to pump it, so we're going to go ahead and just take that hit. And we're going to go over the top. Keep ourselves just out of range and see what they've got coming next. There's the Valkyrie. They don't have anything lesser. Alright, opponent down to 5 life. Do they have anything to remove what we have building up on the board here? They don't have any blockers for our aerial assault. They're going to have to swing all the way in, though, to disrupt us. If they don't see it, then this is going to be it, folks. Oh, they let it go. That is going to be game. And with that, Clerics is on the board in a semi-mirror match. Esper versus Orzhov. Orzhov coming out on top. And with that, folks, we are going to see you in the post-game wrap to break down the deck, how it played, and tweaks and changes we might make in the future. All right, and we're back for the post-game wrap. Taking a look at the deck, we're going to pull over the stats here from untapped.gg. What we're looking at here is a 38% win rate. We went 3 and 5, 50% on the draw, or sorry, 50% on the play, 33% on the draw. Overall, the deck did not perform terribly. It, for some reason, with a low mana curve, had a penchant for flooding out, which was a little bit strange to me. I was not expecting that. And then the few times that I elected with the previous game experience in mind to take lesser mana hands, we bricked very hard. So it is a very temperamental mana base. If I were to make any changes to the deck, let's take a look at what we've got going on here. Taborax and the Angel of Eternal Dawn, neither of them made any impact. I would probably remove both of those cards in the favor of replacing them with 2 copies of the Haunting Voyage, which is a card that when when foretold and cast from the foretell zone, can return all creatures of a particular type from the graveyard to the battlefield. Seeing as the entire deck is clerics and none of them are legendary creatures, that would basically reset the game for us. We had it played against us at one point. I'm not sure if that particular game made the cut of what's going to be shown in the game footage here, but those 2 cards really didn't have any meaningful impact on where this game ended up. So outside of that, it does perform somewhat well. Again, probably some additional tweaking to be made. I think it's a deck that's taking what is meta and effective and trying to make it change, but isn't really performing as it should in terms of disrupting that meta. It did go 1-1 with Clerics decks that it faced off against. We ended up going, one of them was Esper. They didn't play any blue cards, so the stat tracker's not showing it that way. Outside of that, a white-red Clerics deck, which was a unique build, ended up losing to that. Mono black lost there. Mono green misjudged what we had, played the Chaos Silencer, or not the Chaos Silencer, the Silverquill Silencer wrong, and that ended up punishing us. So, interesting deck. Not quite the race up the ladder I was hoping it would be for us today, but it was an exciting play, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one as we continue this journey from Bronze to Mythic. This is Furion from the Florida Men Gaming, signing off.